Most people think construction projects get delayed because of materials, permits, or budgets. But in my experience, the real bottleneck is almost always the people. Hey, I'm Dave, co-host of the Blueprints to Punch List podcast. And I also help healthcare companies expand into new markets by building and delivering their medical facilities. Here's the truth most people don't want to admit. Projects rarely slow down because of drawings, steel, or drywall. They slow down because of people. So in this video, I want to talk about where the bottlenecks show up and how great teams remove them. So number one is decision bottlenecks. If the right people aren't making decisions fast enough, the entire project can stall. And these are design decisions, equipment decisions, layout decisions, ordering materials decisions. These can compound on top of each other. So if these decisions aren't being made fast enough, then flooring, doors, for example, are a great topic because they have one of the longest lead times on our build outs. Like our build out timelines are typically from 3 to 4 months for these clinics and healthcare facilities. So when a door has a 12 to 14 week lead time, that translates to almost 3 to 3.5 months. And when a door submittal is not approved fast enough because there's questions or decisions that need to be made on the finishes, the longer that order gets delayed being put in, the longer it risks getting that material ordered. So again, it's a bottleneck that we see often where drawings and programs of these clinics are not fully flushed out as they go into production. So it's just keep that in the back of your mind when as soon as you have a decision to make, how quickly does it need to be made and how much does it actually impact the course of construction? And it leads right into the issue number 2, which is communication breakdowns. It's true. Projects move fast when everyone is aligned. But when there's a disconnect between owner, architect, contractors, vendors, all of these small issues, once again, become bigger delays. So how do you keep communication tight? How do you keep decisions moving forward? By making sure that everybody gets the right updates. Everyone from the field, from the vendors, the guys who are actually swinging hammers, all the way through owners and stakeholders who are basically paying the bills for these projects. Moving walls can be easy, but it's much easier to move a wall on paper than it is to have to go back and now make that adjustment after the fact, especially if there's already drywall and conduit and piping in the wall. It's just a lot easier. So again, little decisions, little things that can just make a big difference in avoiding that. And it goes back to the people making them, understanding that they will have a consequence and they can have these impacts where it pushes the schedule out. And then number 3 is simply the wrong people in critical roles. This is probably most prominent when we're putting together as a GC our team of vendors and subcontractors for a project. We do have budget constraints often, and we don't always get to pick the best team that we would like to have, but we have to make sure that it fits within the budget of the project. And there have been instances where we hired the wrong team, and that team, those people can now make the entire project way off track. There's usually at least one sub on every project that we identify as the biggest risk. So knowing who your team is and who those people are, how they are capable of meeting the demands. Like, for example, there's several AC companies that we use for projects here in Central Florida. One of them is excellent when it comes to just simply putting in ductwork, running a new equipment, or putting new equipment on the roof, and that's it. But as soon as it becomes more complicated, where it's you have service involved or tying into existing systems, where there's actually things that have to be figured out in the field, we've gotten burned hiring this other company who does great in one aspect but not the other. So it's super important for the owner side, right? Making sure your GC, you talk through those points with them. And as the GC, from everything from our estimating team, project coordinator, superintendent, everybody understands why we're bringing on a particular subcontractor or vendor for a particular scope, because those roles are so crucial to meet the project deadlines. So construction is almost like a team sport, and the one wrong player in the wrong position can bottleneck everything. So just keeping that in mind is how to get around that, again, talking through it and whatnot. So and then the last thing I would say is number 4 would be the right people remove the bottleneck. So when you have a project team who fully understands the scope, they have worked these types of projects before, everything changes. Decisions happen quickly, problems get resolved quickly. It's almost like some of these project managers and some of these teams are playing chess rather than checkers. Just they're able to see that entire board they know what needs to be done, what needs to happen, and they really are good at anticipating the problems before they even come up. So again, a lot of this stuff is, we're talking it through from a construction lens, but it really applies to other business in life. And it's just, we're sharing our perspective here because that is what we do. But I do believe that ultimately, these are great life lessons that we just, if we can learn quicker and put them into play, it really makes a big difference. So again, just kind of run through it one more time. So decision bottlenecks is making the decision quick enough. Communication breakdown is the second thing, where not having everybody communicate the information to the team in proper and timely fashion. Number 3 was wrong people in critical roles. And 4 was really the right people that can remove these bottlenecks. So keeping those in mind. And if you do that, people will come together and you'll have successful projects that flow smoothly. And that's always our goal. I think that's everybody's goal. Nobody goes into it going, hey, I completely want to screw this up. But if you are a healthcare company and you're expanding into new markets, the goal isn't just a new building. It's to remove the bottlenecks so you can do your job faster, get to market faster. And so if you have any projects coming up in that healthcare space where you're expanding into a new market, reach us out to us on our website, wilsoncompany.net, or also just subscribe, like this video if you enjoyed the content here, and we will see you on the next one.